So for our next segment, I would like to call upon a very, very successful entrepreneur and none other than Mr. Subhash Chandra L. Reddy, Managing Director of Sangeetha Mobiles Private Limited, to share his views with us and this session, Pioneering the Mobile Retail Revolution of Sangeetha Mobiles. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Well, the previous speaker, Amit from No Broker. I didn't know much about No Broker, but our team at Sangeetha head office, we have just started advertising on No Broker for our sangeethamobiles.com, which is a startup. That way, I can probably call myself that I am fit enough to be in this audience. Otherwise, I was wondering, why am I being called? Because Sangeetha is a 49-year-old company started by my dad in 1974 as a music store. That's why the name Sangeetha. In fact, many people ask me, is it your wife? Is it your daughter? It's actually Sangeetha is music, Sangeet. So we started as a gramophone record, HMV, His Master's Voice record store way back in 1974 on JC Road when Bangalore was a pensioner's paradise. I was a 7-year-old kid, and we moved from gramophones to home appliances. We used to sell Sumit Mixi, Prestige cooker, Crompton Reeves ceiling fans, and then Philips radios. Then we went on to sell CD players, music systems. Then come 1981, television entered Bangalore for the first time. So 1981, we were one of the first few television retailers. Then 1982 Asian Games, November 19th, we had color transmission for the first time in India. So sold color televisions. In fact, I remember very well, on the day of Asian Games, I didn't have a color television in the store to watch the Asian Games opening ceremony because everything just flew off the shelf. And people were ready to pay a premium. Then thereafter came VCPs, VCRs. At one point in time, Sangeetha, okay, let me also share, I'm a school dropout. At the age of 17, I took to business because basically my dad is a very, very, very self-contented man. He never had big aspirations in life. So therefore, I had to take up at the age of 17. Now I am 57. So last 40 years, I've been at the driver's seat. And so at one point in time, Sangeetha was the most sought after for all the travels, for all the bus operators in Bangalore. We were the go-to store for the television, VCP, then the whole music system, speakers inside the buses. So we have done that. Then Sangeetha was the first retailer of computers in the country. Sangeetha was the first retailer of pagers in the country. Sangeetha was the first retailer of mobiles in the country. So way back in 1997, thank you. Way back in 1997 when mobile came, 96 November 1st, JT Mobile was the first operator. And since we were selling pagers, and we were selling a good number of pagers, we were selling, in fact, all this from one store. Sangeetha, we just had one store. 1974 to 1997, till 2001, we had just one store. Today we have 800 stores. And all the 800 stores are company-owned, company-operated. We don't have a single franchisee. Many of them, in fact, some of my very close friends assume default. If, how can there be a mad fellow opening so many stores? They must be wondering. That too in the most competitive space like mobile retail, especially with, in the last 10 odd years, we have online. And everybody today, in fact, if you talk to anybody, all youngsters in every home, they feel, you're really old-fashioned if you're going to a store and buying a phone, right? I'm sure all of us, many of us sitting here would be experiencing this with our children at home. We were doing very well in pagers, and when mobile came, I was very, very eager to latch on to the mobile. But unfortunately, JT Mobile never took Sangeetha seriously. Sangeetha was a small single store. We used to sell about 100 plus televisions and some, whatever, small little business. Somehow, Spice Telecom was the second operator, April 1997, which eventually got acquired by Idea, which eventually got merged with Vodafone. So, Spice we took up on April 6th, 1997, and our fortunes changed. And I would say Sangeetha pre-1997 was first innings. Sangeetha post-1997 is the second innings, where the world started, the entire country started taking note of Sangeetha. We went on to become India's largest seller of postpaid SIM cards. Those days, there was no concept of prepaid. Each SIM card was 4,856 rupees. Many of you sitting here cannot even fathom. Today, the SIM is given free, and you also get some recharge, 100 rupees or 200 rupees free along with the SIM. Those days, we used to sell a SIM card at 4,856 rupees. And I'm talking about days when 16 rupees 80 paisa per minute was the tariff. And so there was no looking back. Those days, 1997, everyone would sell a SIM card, typically a direct marketing associate with a tie and all that, an office automation guy who would sell a computer or an EPABX or a fax machine or a computer to you. He would walk into your office, he would try and sell a SIM card, and he would say, sir, आप एक काम कर दीजिए, आप बर्मा बाजार में चले जाइए, आप नेशनल मार्केट में चला जाइए, उधर आपको फोन मिल जाएगा. So those were the days when Sangeetha was the first retailer to take this big step of retailing the phones through the store. And what was the challenge? The challenge was, first of all, no brand believed that phones could be sold through a retail showroom because the price was double the price. Customs duty was 60%. In fact, you just can't believe that today we are in India where entire phones, in fact, many of you sitting here also may not know that including Apple, I'm sure today it's too much in the news, including Apple, Samsung, Oppo, Vivo, every brand, you name it, not only is manufactured here, but in fact, it is exported to almost all parts of the world. And those days, it was 60% customs duty. Everything was imported. And almost 20% of sales tax. So every phone, literally you had to pay double the price if you had to buy in a proper store with a bill and warranty. And that is why there were nobody selling phones in a store, and Sangeetha was the first one to do that. Because we were the first ones to do that, we had to really experiment, we had to break our heads, and how do I convince a customer to pay double the price? And fortunately for us, we used to make a lot of money on a SIM card. We used to make 3,000 rupees on a SIM card. On a 4,000 and odd rupee SIM card, we would make upwards of 3,000 rupees as our customer acquisition cost, basically, And I started wondering, what the hell, man? All these days I was selling a television, refrigerator, washing machine. 200 रुपया नहीं मिल रहा था एक टेलीविजन पे 500 रुपया नहीं मिल रहा था and either I'm just giving a SIM card and I'm making 3,000 plus. So those were fantastic days. In fact, I really wish I could go back to those days. But anyway, so we started selling the handsets, subsidizing almost 2,000 out of that 3,000 what we were earning there from the SIM card, just to convince the customer to buy a phone with a bill and warranty. In the process, making lesser profit where I sell a SIM card and a handset together to the customer. But I was happy to do so. But that was not enough. Most of the customers would still say, nahi, hum udhar jaake le lenge, Burma Bazaar mein le lenge. Then we had to introduce insurance in the country for the first time. And all this was happening on JC Road. I used to sit on JC Road. JC Road was our first store, and that was the only store. So right opposite to our showroom on JC Road, we had a United Indian Insurance Company. Walked up to them and asked them for an insurance on phone. They said, nahi, aisa to hai nahi kuch product. Banaiye product. And I want it, is what I asked them to. and finally made them to do a product for mobile insurance. So that way, in fact, we were the first ones in the country to get a mobile, get an insurance done on a mobile phone. Initially, it was only theft. 97, 98, 99, 2000, we would sell it as optionally to a customer. And then in 2008, what we did, we approached an insurance broking company, and then they in turn went to London. They found an insurance company which was a specialist only insuring mobile phones. And they were operational in 26 countries. So this was liquid damage, physical damage, and theft, and no FIR required, and said claim settlement. They were doing it in 15 minutes in London. We said, this, India hai, yahan to people would abuse it, left, right, center. And so we said 3-day claim settlement, and they had a condition that you have to, entire turnover you have to pay the premium. And like a mad fellow, actually I would say, no, not many people would be as mad as me. It was 3.5% premium, and the entire turnover had to be insured. I said yes. So, in fact, again, looking back, 2008 to 2012, those 5 years, every month we would write out insurance premium to the tune of upwards of 50 lakh rupees per month 50 lakhs. So it is more than 6 crores per year. For about 5 years I paid insurance premium. Then we had, till then we didn't have a CFO. We had a CFO who joined us, and the first thing he did was make me stop that. He said, this is absolute madness, and for how long can you look at this as a value-added service? It's high time that we make it as a revenue model. Till then, by then we had established so much. If I was introduced in a gathering like this, if I was introduced to somebody, this is so-and-so from Sangeetha, oh, insurance wala. They would, oh, mobile insurance ke saath bechta na, wahi hai na. That was the branding we had, And then, so 2013, we discontinued the insurance, default insurance on mobile. 2015, we made it in-house. So we now call it assurance. So every phone sold in Sangeetha now comes with a default assurance, which is you drop it. In fact, price drops or you drop. We say, in fact, when Amazon and Flipkart were ruling in 2012, 13, 14, when they were really going after all the offline retailers in the country, it was bloodshed for all offline retailers. And they used to cut the price like anything. And they have done it so successfully that even after 10 years today, when the prices are actually the same, in fact, if you log into sangeethamobiles.com and Amazon or Flipkart, I will not be surprised, at least sometimes, our prices may be cheaper than an Amazon and Flipkart. In fact, most of the times, thanks to the sanity from the OEMs and from the government, thanks to some rules that have been brought in, most of the times the prices are the same. In fact, there is a standard thing called, like the MRP, there's something called MOP in the mobile industry, which is market operating price. So you're not supposed to charge a rupee less than the market operating price. And let me also share a secret here. Only Apple does not follow market operating price. So we all think Apple is a very big brand, and they must be, oh my God. But actually Apple cares a damn. Apple says you can sell at whatever price you want. So that is why Amazon and Flipkart choose Apple to break the price. Whenever they do the Great Indian Festival sale or Big Billion Day, the brand that gets easily tampered with is Apple. So in fact, Mohit was just asking me, why are you still not on an Apple? This is the reason I don't like Apple. Okay. They're just the hardest brand to deal with. As a retailer, you will never make money on an Apple phone. Okay. So this has been the journey of Sangeetha, and we introduced, so sorry, I lost my flow. So when Amazon and Flipkart were really killing every offline retailer on the pricing, Sangeetha said, we were, in fact, for the first time in my life, I started feeling depressed. I said, what the hell? My wife always used to say, let us get into real estate, let's buy land. But I was going on expanding. From 2001, sorry, I forgot to tell you, 1974 to 2001, we had one store. 2001 to 2022, we have 800 stores. And all are company owned. We have built such a big brand, a popular brand, Sangeetha, but we never franchised. We never monetized. So, and never did anything else. All my life, I put everything, all my sweat, toil, everything into this. So for the first time, I started feeling a little depressed in 13, 14, around that time. So then 2015, we introduced something called price drop protection. See, as you all know, mobile is a category where every other day there is a new model coming, and whenever there's a new model that is launched, the older model price gets dropped. And whenever one brand drops the price, it's a series of everybody drops price. If Samsung drops price, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi, Realme, OnePlus, everybody will drop the price. So we introduced something called price drop protection. So if you buy a phone in Sangeetha, and this we used to say, okay, Amazon में 500 रुपया कम मिल रहा है आपको, लेकिन कल 2,500 rupees price drop हो गया तो क्या करेंगे? But if you buy in Sangeetha, we will call you. In fact, we'll message you, mail you, call you. 3 times we'll reach out to you to come and take back your 2,500. So this way, we introduced in 2015 October. So far, we have given away 34 crore rupees. We have refunded. In fact, sometimes the numbers, when they are too big, it becomes difficult to believe. But these are figures that are reflected in my balance sheet. Of course, I'm not talking 1 year numbers. I'm talking 2015 to 2023. In fact, 2020, because in 2020, when COVID came, the prices started going up for the first time in the history of mobile phones. That is when we actually discontinued this price compensation, price protection policy. In fact, I've been telling my people we will be restarting it. Right now, we are not doing that, price protection. That is because most of the time, once again, in the last 6 months, the price drops have started happening. So we'll be restarting. So along with price protection, then we started damage protection. That is, and no more insurance. Everything is assurance. Everything is in-house. No liquid, whether you drop it. In fact, we say, why break bones when you can break phones? If you're angry with somebody, just throw your phone. Don't go physical. So this is the slogan in Sangeetha. So Sangeetha's journey has been around your ears for 49 years is what I say. From gramophone to smartphone has been our journey. So in the middle, we also tried some foolish things like we went and acquired one retail chain in Chennai because we entered Chennai late in 2007. So Universal, which actually is no more in the country today, Universal went down. Universal was the #1 in Tamil Nadu. Wavetel was the second biggest chain. So we acquired Wavetel, and that was a bad decision looking back. Then we also launched, in fact, Sangeetha has a sister concern company which was into mobile phone distribution. We were a Sony Ericsson distributor. We were India's largest distributor for Micromax. Entire South India, we were the super distributor. So, and Micromax was flying high. Micromax was at one point in time stated to even become the India's #1 brand. They have overtaken Samsung. Economic Times carried one news article. So at that time, we were Micromax's India's #1 distributor. So everyone who used to visit our office, they would say, when are you launching your own brand? You're doing so well for Micromax. It's time, I think you should launch your own brand. So nasha chhad gaya and we launched our brand, but the timing was bad. We launched our own brand and we lost money on that. So as entrepreneurs, we all, we do mistakes in life, and these are the couple of mistakes that we have done. And as Sangeetha, I don't know whether it's a mistake or not, we even ended up buying a cricket team, Karnataka Premier League, just like IPL, KPL. KPL was the first one to launch in India as a state body at the local level. So I had Manish Pandey and all playing for me. We took one team called Belgavi Panthers. So indulged in these other aspects burnt hands a little bit. But I must tell you, we are a 100% family-run business. We have 3,000 employees on board. We are a 2,500 crores company. My ambition in life is to go IPO very soon. In fact, yeah, we have not diluted a single share. We are 100%. My dad started, me and my son has joined, and the rest of the family, we take care of the business along with professionals, of course. Professionals and team, they are doing a fabulous job. Yes, it is tough, especially in today's business, especially when we go and talk. Today I was reading Lenskart raised X amount of dollars, and they have 1,100 stores, and 2021 they were profitable, 22 they are in red again. Surprising. We have always been a profitable company in the thinnest margin business. In fact, many people ask me when I talk to some apparel guys, sorry, I may be overshooting on time, 1 minute I'll take. So some apparel and lifestyle brands, when I talk to, they say, when we talk about rent as a cost of your turnover or manpower as a cost of your turnover, my rent as a cost of my turnover is, it used to be 1.5%, now it is 2.5%. So anything more than 2.5%, it doesn't make sense for us. For them, it's 15%. They're okay for 15%. So we run in a business where the margins are so thin, and but we have built these differentiators, and thanks to these differentiators, we have been able to survive. So price drop protection, damage protection, then we realized, how come not many people are coming with a damage? We used to say 50% you have to pay, you take a new phone, no questions asked, no paperwork, no waiting, no rejection. Then we said, oh, because I'm charging 50%, customers are not coming. There are quite a few breakages. So then we introduced, okay, we analyzed, when they drop the phone, only the display breaks. We came up with a display replacement, 6 months, with pickup and drop. You pay 500 rupees at the point of buying the phone. For 500 rupees, whatever, even if it's a 1 lakh rupee phone, your phone gets picked up and dropped back to you in 7 days stat, and with the display replaced from the authorized Samsung or Apple or whatever the brand service center. So like this, we have always invented and come out with newer things. We have come out with assured buyback. We were the first ones to come out with. Later on, Flipkart also does that now today. That is, at the point of your purchasing the phone, we say, we give you X percentage value after 365 days. Y percentage value, we will buy it back after 24 months. Up to 24 months, we give an assured buyback percentage, irrespective of the cost of the phone on that day. All it has to do is it has to be in working condition. And of course, today, yeah, I forgot to mention even EMI. And luckily, Mohit, who was earlier in Standard Chartered, but much before I got introduced to you, Mohit, my first, just like insurance, Sangeetha was the first one in the country to introduce insurance, EMI on mobile phones. Many people think Apple introduced or Samsung introduced. It was Sangeetha who introduced EMI on phones way back in 1997, and it was Standard Chartered. Incidentally, there was a gentleman named Sudarshan Seshadri who was heading the credit card InstaBuy program. So with him, we introduced EMI for the first time on mobile phones in the country. And I remember Standard Chartered had 75 years of Standard Chartered in India. I don't know, I couldn't believe 75 years you have been there. 75, they had a function in Leela Palace, and I was called onto the stage, and I was announced as, Sangeetha, All India #1 in the EMI program. Those days, Sahara Airlines was also there, and Sahara also used to give EMI on flight tickets. So we beat Sahara, we beat everybody. Sangeetha, and when it was one store. Okay, this is it. This is about the journey of Sangeetha. And today we have our sangeethamobiles.com, which is, I'll be failing in my duty if I forget to mention about it. 2 hours delivery anywhere in South India. You can place an order and get the phone delivered to you in 2 hours. I must be honest, we are as of now, 65% of the orders only we are able to fulfill in 2 hours, but the promise is 2 hours. We are trying to get there and become close to 100%, but this is our USP, and all the damage protection, etc., everything is available. And We are celebrating our 49th anniversary. Sangeetha was born on May 31st, 1974. So every year we have this anniversary sale in the month of June. We call it as a 1 rupee margin sale. We give a 1 year damage protection. Normally we give a 1 month damage protection free of cost. During this time it's a 1 year damage protection. So, okay, it may be too much of Sangeetha that I'm talking here, but I was asked to talk about my journey. I'm sorry about it. Because I don't fit into the startup system with 49 years of company running. So I'm sorry about it. It's not that I'm here to brag about Sangeetha, but yeah, please excuse me for that. So any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Cyber, yeah.
Cyber protection. So you have given all the various protections. Any thoughts on coming up with cyber protection?
In fact, today is 16th. Yesterday I was supposed to launch it.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we have already done it, we have finalized the deal. Every phone that you buy in Sangeetha, if you have anything that goes wrong in your bank account, 1 lakh rupee cyber protection is something that you know. So we have not launched it. We were supposed to launch it yesterday. We will be launching it soon. Thank you. Thank you.